Welcome to this series of short training videos on using your concept measurement Torq hub system. In this video, we're going to cover the CMI Torq desktop app, which is a Windows-based program that gives users the ability to store and amalgamate large data sets from multiple Torq hub display units and output them as formatted PDF files. It also gives users the ability to pre-enter job and pile information that can later be uploaded into Torq hub display units, making the job of data entry far quicker and easier. To download the software, open your web browser of choice and go to www.cmidownloads.com/CMI desktop/publish.html. Note that this URL is case sensitive. Alternatively, you can use the short URL of bit.ly/31 P HFX M. When you've done that, you'll be presented with a screen that looks like this. Click the install button here. In Chrome, the download will appear here at the bottom of the screen. Click on it to start the installation process. If you're using Microsoft Edge, then the download will appear here at the top right of the screen. Click on it to start the installation process. Whichever way you choose, you'll now be presented with this installation screen. Verify that the file publisher says Concept Measurement Inc. and click Install. This will download and install the CMI Torq desktop app. The program will automatically start up, but if you need to run it again later, there is now an icon on your desktop that looks like this, or the program can be found under your Windows button by searching for CMI Desktop. Before you start using the app, click on the Options button here at the top right and ensure that the data save location is appropriate. The program defaults to saving job data in a folder called CMI Data under your C drive, but you may wish to choose an alternative drive. When you've made your changes, click Save. To import data, you first need to export data from a Torq hub display unit. This was covered in the previous video, but we'll go over it quickly. On the display unit, make sure a USB memory stick is inserted in the back of the display. Select the job and click on Export Piles. From the export screen, click on Copy Text to USB Key. Once the job is finished exporting, remove the USB memory stick. Back in the CMI Torq desktop app, click on the Read USB button here at the top left. The program will automatically default to this screen when it's started. Leave this drop-down list here on Smart View and simply insert the USB memory stick into your computer. The computer will automatically detect the new USB key and will search it for job data as shown here. Double-clicking on any of the jobs will generate a PDF report of the pile data that has been imported. The double-click also copies the exported data locally onto the hard drive of this computer. This will amalgamate the recorded pile data with any other data stored under the same job name. In this way you can have multiple Torq hubs working on the same project and unify the data into one database. If you have received your job information via email, unzip the attached CSV file onto your hard drive. Change the view mode from Smart View to Files and navigate to the folder where you unzip the attachment. Once you've found the job data, you can double-click on it just as you would the USB files and it will be imported into the database. If we go back to the CMI Torq desktop app and click on the Jobs tab here, we can see that this job data has been stored. This screen gives you an insight into each job by displaying how many piles are expected for the job and how many have data recorded against them. Again, this feature is intended for large jobs with hundreds of piles so that users can quickly evaluate the progress in the project. If there are a large number of jobs, the search panel up here can be used to quickly refine the list. Selecting a job displays the list of all the piles underneath it, along with a detailed breakdown of each pile. To produce a full PDF report from any of these jobs, simply right-click on the job and select Show PDF. If you wish to generate a report on just a selection of piles, then hold down the Control key on your keyboard and select the piles you want in the report. Then right-click on the list and select Show PDF. As you can see, this generated report concentrates on just the selected piles. And just as with jobs, you can use this search bar at the top to quickly find any pile. All of this functionality so far has centered around getting job data into your database, but the other use for this tool is to create job data which can be imported into the Torq Hub display units to save the operator a lot of typing. For example, just right-click anywhere in the jobs list here and select New Job. Fill in the job name, we're going to use Turner Bridge, and now we have this job created in our database. Note there are no piles under it yet, let's remedy that. Right-click on the piles list and select Add New Pile. We'll call this one Pile 1, and give it a target torque of 5,000 foot-pounds and a target depth of 10 feet. Save the record and it appears here. It's highlighted in red to signify that there is no data recorded for it yet. For a lot of jobs, the piles are numbered sequentially. To speed up the data entry process, we can bulk create pile records. Right-click and select Add New Pile just as you did before. If you look at this text at the bottom, it says to use a hash sign in the pile name to indicate where our indexing number should be placed. So we'll call these piles TB Pile Hash with a target torque of 5,000 foot-pounds and a target depth of 10 feet. And we'll start the pile count at 1 and end it at 100. Click Save and there you go, 100 piles added to the job. Each pile can be individually edited if required. And when you're happy with all the values, you can either click on the right USB tab at the top here, or right-click on the job you want to export and select Export Job for HMI. On the right USB screen, you have three choices to make. First, select the USB drive that you want to export the job to. Next, select the job that you wish to export. As you can see, changing the job changes the list of piles. Now you get to decide what piles to export. For a small job, you probably want to leave this defaulted to Export Only Empty Piles. But if you're working on a larger project, then you may wish to assign different piles to different operators. In that case, use either the Control key or the Shift key on the keyboard to multi-select groups of piles. You can see that this automatically changes the export option to Export Only Selected Piles. Here we're going to export the first 20 piles. At this stage, our USB memory stick has the records for those first 20 piles. Take the USB memory stick out and insert it into the Torq Hub display unit. Go to Menu, Job Management, and you can see that the Import Jobs button is already highlighted. Click it and wait while the jobs are read into the display. Once it is finished, the system will return to the main screen. And here you can see that now we have our 20 piles imported into the display unit. I'm going to go off now and log some test data against some of these piles, and I'll return to you when that is done. Now that I've done that, I'm going to export the job data as per normal. And when that's done, I'm going to plug the USB memory stick back into my computer. You can now see that the Turner Bridge job has appeared. Double-click on it to show the PDF report and import the data into our database. As you can see from the cover sheet, I only recorded data against a handful of piles. If we look at the database for the Turner Bridge project, we can now clearly see which piles have some data recorded against them. We can also see the torque and depth achieved versus the target, and double-click on any pile to view its data points. Notice that some of the completed piles are slightly different shades of green. The darker green denotes that the target torque and depth were both achieved. The slightly lighter green denotes that one of those targets wasn't achieved. Looking at the job record here at the top left, we can also see the percentage completion of the entire job based on how many piles we imported data for versus the total number of piles in the job. This high-level overview of all of your jobs will hopefully make managing your jobs far more convenient. Thank you for watching this introduction to the CMI Torq desktop app.